What's up, guys? It's Cutlery Novice here. Been a while since I've done an outdoor testing video, and today I'm going to be doing some testing on the Mora 2000. This is a knife that I recently got as a gift, and I've been putting it through its paces outdoors, just seeing what it can do. Now, before I start the video, I want to give a quick disclaimer, since I know someone in the comments is going to say it anyway. You should never use your knives to chop or split wood. Obviously, axes and hatchets are purpose-built for that exact reason, and you shouldn't be using a tool not fit for the job to do the job. However, I do quickly want to say that it's not always quite as simple as that. The reason we do the testing videos is not because we're advocating people using their knives in this particular role. It's so that people know that if you are, for whatever reason, stuck in that particular role, whether you're stranded or you just don't have another tool for the job, and whenever the situation pops up, they want to know their knife can handle it. So I wanted to get that out of the way right now. And before the other people come on the video, there's pretty much three kind of people: the people who actually enjoy it, the people who bitch about how it's done improperly, and then we have the tree-hugging, don't hurt the palm tree, animals are people too, save the chinchilla bullshit activists who sit there and tell me not to cut down live trees. Well, this is a dead piece of pecan that fell a little while back, so no worries there. So let's see what we can do with it. I'm going to go ahead and just put it through this, try to put it through this little pecan branch, and if I can get this done, I might do some splitting on it. Whoops, knocking my tripod there. Try to get this a little more stable. Again, this is a hardwood, this is pecan. So a lot of my videos, what I do is I go out into the local trail and I do it on some cedar. I'm just doing it on a piece of pecan in my backyard today. Problem is, I know I'm going to have to end up rotating this to get through the rest of it. And problem is, there's a bigger branch attached to it. So rotating it's going to be kind of awkward on camera. So let's see if I can go ahead and start getting this turned around. Whoa! And again, knocking my tripod. So let's see. That's where the cut is. Make a mark. And then move around and make sure this is still in frame. Let's see here. Alright, I think I'm in frame here. This is also much easier to do when I'm not trying to maneuver around a tripod. In the way. Actually, you're seeing a lot of my arm in action here. So let me reposition this. And is that gonna be in frame? Yeah. So I was actually doing pretty well, considering the knife of its size and thinness. I doubt I'm going to have the same razor edge I did when I started with this Sandvik 12C27 blade, or whatever it is that Mora uses. I'm pretty sure it's 12 Sandvik steel. All the way through. I could just break it at this point, but there we go. So we got through there, and then I'll reposition and I'll do some splitting with it. Alright, so let's do some splitting with it. Alright, that actually goes through pretty well for such a thin blade. One thing I will say is I'm nicking up my baton pretty bad. That's one downside to having a thinner knife. In addition to the fact that it doesn't wedge through as well, it tends to damage your baton. Yeah, that does, impressively well, but to be fair, I don't think anyone really doubted how well any Mora knife could do at an outdoors task. And the Mora 2000 is no different. It really does perform very well for a knife of its size and thickness. Color me impressed. It's a badass little knife. Alright, so I am no bushcrafter, but I'm going to try to do a feather stick here. I know that something like pecan is probably not the best wood for that job, and I will admit that I'm not very good at making feather sticks. But we're going to try it anyway. So let's see. Yeah. Probably going, a matter of fact, I know for a fact I'm going too thick with that, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm sure someone who knows a lot more about this stuff than me is going to chime in the comments about how I did it wrong, and I probably did. Again, I am no bushcrafter. And honestly, I'm rusty at even what I am good at, so by all means, if someone out there is experienced and knows I'm doing something wrong, do let me know. But either way, it carves just fine. I mean, I don't notice any effort when trying to do any cuts. Let's try the tip of the blade. Carves just fine. I think you'd probably be better off using the base for feather sticking, but the tip really does just push through with no effort. And for those of you who don't know, the Mora 2000 actually has two different grinds on it. Let's see if it'll focus. There you go. You can see where the grind differs there. Let's see how that edge is doing. I don't notice any damage in the edge. It still feels sharp. Definitely does not feel as sharp as it did whenever we started with it, but yeah, it's doing just fine. Let's just do some regular whittling with it or carving with it now. Cutting off large chunks of this like it's paper. Incredible. Let's see if I can do some more testing with it. Alright, so again, I'm outside of my element a little bit by even doing this kind of videos again, but I'm going to attempt to do something I've never done before, and that's make a tent peg. So I'm going to go ahead and try to notch, or cut a notch here, and I'm going to turn around and try to carve a sharp tip here. So here goes nothing. Actually, that tip bites in a lot better. But I need to get some deeper cuts. There we go. Again, I hope everything's on frame. And of course someone's car alarm is going off. That's nice. I just know I'm doing a lot of this wrong. Oh well. Doing the work anyway. Also, I get the feeling that again, this is not the best wood for the job. But it's making short work of it, in all honesty. Let's get that shaving out of there. Alright, so a little more. And I know for a fact there's someone in the comment section thinking, someone watching the video thinking this guy is an amateur. And you're absolutely right. I am an amateur. Thus my channel name. Never claimed to be a pro. I am certainly no bushcrafter. If you drop me off in the middle of the woods with just a knife and a flint, I'd probably die. Alright, well, there's my notch. It's not the best, but you could definitely wrap some cord or something in there. And here's going to be the really fun part, trying to sharpen this end of it. So let's see. And it's just making short work of this wood. Add a knot, just carve right through it. Don't care. To hell with the knot. Probably a better way to do this, but I'm not very good with control pull cuts, so I'm just doing the push cuts. I'll practice the pull cuts when I'm not on camera. There we go. There's my very nice sharp pointy end and my notch for however we're going to secure the tent. Should work just fine. Yeah, Frost Mora 2000. This is a hell of a little knife, and again, let's see how that edge is doing. Looking at it, it seems fine. Feeling it, it doesn't feel damaged in any way. It definitely feels duller. I want to say that it definitely feels duller than it was before. It is certainly no longer hair shaving sharp, but it's sharp enough. I mean, it still feels like it'll cut just fine. It just isn't as sharp as it was when we started. But to be fair, you don't really need that razor edge for a lot of outdoor work. You just need it to be sharp enough to get the job done. And this most certainly is. So yeah, that's my testing of the Frost Mora 2000. Can't really think of too much else to do with it. I've done the splitting task. I've done the notching task. I attempted very poorly to do the feather sticking. And I did the tent peg. Yeah, that's my testing section of the Mora 2000. Check for a tabletop review when I get even more experience with it. And until then, I'll see y'all later.